Testing 1, 2, 3. Good evening, everyone. My name is Dwayne Kimball, owner and founder of KMD 89, a VA claims consultant. Leave no vet behind. Also, I'm a United States Army veteran. Thank you for joining me this evening for my VA claims live Q&A session. But before we get started, just as a quick disclaimer, I want to inform everyone that this presentation is for educational and informational purposes only. Okay. And as every evening or every other evening when I do this, I do go over just some quick notes before I jump in to the comments. So just wanted to inform everyone, I did change the time. I used to start at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I moved it to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So to be every other Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, you'll get notified because I'll create the event a couple of days earlier. Okay. But when you subscribe, make sure you hit that notification button. Okay. So before I get into tonight's Q&A session, just wanted to inform everyone of my previous videos. I did a video about the updated proposed changes, and there still hasn't been any it hasn't been any new updates on the proposed changes. Now, keep in mind, they could not do it, or they could do it a year or two, or a couple of months. Don't know. But I have done another video where I showed individuals, and even one of my roundtables, I think it was last month, a month before, where I showed veterans how to get updates, as it pertains to the M21 reference. So people, I think I got an update. The last one I got was last week. Okay. So when you get those updates, it could be you receive an email. If, these proposed changes, if they do go into effect, you should receive an email. And also, I did a video on the VA claim scam alert. I received an email from the VA. So if you subscribe to the VA's email newsletter, you should be getting those updates as well. Okay. But they were talking about how there's organizations out there that are scamming veterans when it comes to the claims process, specifically pension. And they called it pension poaching, I believe. But I did a video on it, but I'm going to link those videos to the end of this video. Okay. So you want to go and check those out. Okay. Again, I have my Veterans Roundtable every third Thursday of every month from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This month, I may have someone come on and talk about mental health awareness. Is this a mental health awareness month? All right. And the last thing before I get into the Q&A session, I challenge everyone that sees this video, submit a FOIA request and get a copy of your claims file. Okay. I'm still having veterans scheduling consultations with me. And one of the questions on the consultation, have you submitted a request and or received your VA claims file? And the majority of veterans are saying no. Okay. So anything that you're trying to do with your claim, that's a good thing to have in your possession is your VA claims file. I've shared mine on previous videos and some of my live training that I've done, some roundtables that I've done, and I have all that information on CD as well. Okay, so let's go ahead, make sure we get those likes up. Oh, and one last thing. You probably heard me talk about I adopted 2 schools in low-income areas in the Tampa Bay area, and that I was trying to get about 10 or 12 pilots from Griffin, Georgia, down here. I use all the donations on my live streams that I get every night, not every night, but every other Wednesday when I do these live streams. And my YouTube revenue to do different things for these schools. So I also did a video where I shared where I was going to pick up some items and deliver them to the school. Okay, so I think it was week before last. I was sharing that video in the comment section, but you probably heard me talk about maybe January, February. I was trying to get these pallets down here. They will be here tomorrow. I finally found a broker that found a driver that was going to bring them down. So all your donations that you give me is going to go to paying this driver to bring these down. Now, it's about 10 pallets. I'm going to take some pictures, probably do a video on it and share it. But I'm not only just going to give them to the 2 schools I adopted, but other schools as well. Okay, because I want to get ahead of the back to school rush, break these pallets down, have to keep them in my garage, but they will be here tomorrow at 3 p.m. It took about 6-7 months because I've been talking about this a while to get these pallets down here. So again, I'd just like to say thank you, everyone, for your donations. I really appreciate it. So I'm going to finish out the year strong with these schools, and then we're going to go into in August, the new school year on a high note. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's get into some questions here. We got Bobby B. Good evening, Bobby. Thanks for all the support, and again, congratulations. I appreciate it. Mr. Kimball, when is your next roundtable? Come on, Bobby. You know it's every third Thursday of every month. Like I said, 1 p.m. to 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, May 19th. Okay. All right. We got some people here from Texas. We're doing that, Derek. Got someone from Arizona. Let's see. Who else? Who we got? Someone else from Texas. Okay. I used to be stationed down in Killeen, Texas, Fort Hood, Texas. Okay. All right, Benjamin. How we doing? Hello, Dwayne. Dialed in from Hawaii. Okay. What time is it over there? So you coming in? You joining in from LinkedIn. Okay. So you're the first one that coming in from LinkedIn. Welcome. Definitely appreciate the support. We got Theodore from North Carolina. Okay. We got some people from all over. Las Vegas. Okay. All right. All right. So let's get into some of these questions. Saul asked, are kilos considered a presumptive skin condition claim? Well, if you look at the Gulf War presumptive, it could possibly fall under skin if if you were exposed to some particulates in the Gulf. Okay, it could be, or it could be on a direct service connection. I've seen veterans where they had some type of chemical burn and caused a keloid. They claimed it a direct service connection. But Saul, look up the Gulf War presumptive symptoms, undiagnosed illness. And it gives a laundry list of different symptoms, and skin is on there, but it doesn't particularly say keloid cysts. But it could be if they determine it's due to you being exposed to if it was you being exposed to any type of particulates. Okay. All right. So we got Paul from, I'm assuming that's New Hampshire. Okay. Hudson, is that up there by Manchester? Paul. All right. Annette Baker, hey, how we doing? If you fill out the wrong form for your claim, will they notify you and keep your place in line? I don't think that there's no actual place in line, but if you fill out the incorrect form or you submit the incorrect prescribed form, what they should do is send you a form. So let's just say you filed a claim for right knee condition and they denied it, and you submitted on VA form 21-526CZ. Okay. And they denied it for whatever reason. And then you turned around and you submitted again, and you submitted on a 526CZ. They're not going to take issue with it. You should receive a correspondence, and it should state that you submitted this claim on an incorrect form. You should have submitted it on a VA form 20-0995. Okay. I'm going to move my camera over. I do apologize. I don't know what what happened there. Okay. All right. So they'll let you know. They'll send you a correspondence and let you know that it's on the incorrect form. Okay. Okay. We got Big Hunt coming in from South Carolina. Okay, we got Orange. Is it good to submit BVA citations, references, your injuries with an initial VA claim? Um, you can. It's that's your option if you want to. Um, I'm not going to say now. You got to keep in mind there's hundreds of adjudicators, and a lot of them interpret and look at the regulations and case law differently, a little bit differently. Okay. You may have one adjudicator that may be like, oh, wow, yeah, I want to see that. And then you have another one to say, okay, well, I don't. So it would be up to you, but I would say it's your option as a veteran to do that if you so choose. Okay. Calvin, my letter states 100% from 90. However, my high level review for anxiety still sits at senior reviewer is taking a look, but anxiety had been awarded to other rated disabilities, which pushed me at 100%. Okay. Calvin, I don't know if there's a question there or you just give me some information. And I would say, is that 100% PNT or just 100%? Okay. Bobby Bo said, get these thumbs up. We got 54 people on. Bobby, how many likes we got? Calvin said, this has been since 3 May, plus a small retro pay hit on 6 May. Okay. So I don't know if you're asking if there's the timeline. So there's no set timelines for claims to get worked. They're worked in the order that they supposed to be worked in the order that they are received. Paul says, how long does it take to get a C file? Paul, I'm going to let the subscribers answer that because there's a lot of people that come on every week and a lot of people ask those questions, but I will answer it. It's no set time. But if everybody on here, if you've been on here before and you submitted that for your request and you received your CD, let Paul know how long did it take you. It took me 11 months to get mine. So Paul, check the comments because you'll see that there's no set time. And people that are on here, when they start to let you know how long it took them to get a copy of their claims file, you can see that there's no set time. It's 2 weeks, 4 months, a year and a half, 6 months. It's it's all different times. Okay, I'm sorry, I skipped Tom. If you're not given a CMP exam, could there be grounds for a high level review as in failure to assist? Thank you. Still waiting on a 4-year request, 4 months. Okay. So you can see, Paul, Tom has been waiting 4 months. Okay. Tom, to answer your question, yes and no. It could be. It's just going to depend on how your claim is adjudicated. So giving a quick example, let's just say you're claiming a back condition and you was treated in service for your back and you were not given a CMP exam and they denied a claim. Then I would think that a veteran, maybe if you decided to do a high level review, they may say, hey, I wasn't given due process. I should have been given a CMP exam. But I've seen some raters put verbiage in there. They'll say, oh, it's not chronic, which the regulation doesn't state it needs to be chronic. But then they have chronicity, okay? Because for example, direct service connection, you need 3 elements: current diagnosis, link in service, meaning it's documented or somehow related to service, and then the nexus. You get the nexus from the doctor at the CMP exam, okay? But sometimes, raters or adjudicators may say, oh, well, there's no chronicity, and they're not medical professionals. So at a minimum, they should give you due process and let the doctor say, yes, it is, or no, it's not related to service. But the key is if that happens and you do a high level review, how are you going to reasonably articulate that you should have that they failed to give you due process? So in this instance, you're saying, hey, possibly, depending, again, it's just hypothetical that, hey, why didn't I get a CMP exam? Let the doctor say yay or nay. Okay. But that would be up to you if you decide to go ahead and do the high level review. Okay, Ms. Baker. Hey, appreciate it, Ms. Baker. $10. Definitely appreciate the support. Thank you for supporting my roundtables. I know you've been in a few times. So definitely thank you for all the support. Okay, TJ says 4-year comes back as an email, if I'm correct, Tom, not in the mail. Have you checked your spam folder? Of course, it could always just be the VA moving slow, just a suggestion. Well, TJ, they don't send the VA claim, they don't send your VA claims folder by email. So what he was asking was submitting a 4-year request to get a copy of the claims file on CD. But Paul, if I'm wrong in interpreting your question, please let me know. Okay. Big Hunt, hey, thank you for the super sticker. Definitely appreciate it. Because TJ coming in from New York. All right. Guy on a couch. Okay. Good afternoon from Florida. Okay. Got North Carolina. Man, we got people from all over tonight. So definitely appreciate it. We got Puerto Rico, Carlos. Benjamin said, okay, it's 1,300. Wow, man. Okay. Benjamin, you're going out, you're getting on doing the surfing out there in Hawaii. We got Sydney. Sydney from Virginia. Eric says, any updates on Kohler for fiscal year 23? Eric, I really don't know. That's probably one of the things. I think that's one topic that I have not done a YouTube video on is, the new COLA increases or payout, what's going to be the increase. And Eric, I'll tell you why. Because my thought is this. A lot of veterans, they'll be concerned about, okay, well, what's the payout for? What is the increase? And my thought is on that, you got to get service connected. You got to get service connected. Even if you're at 50 and you're trying to go to 70, 80, that's similar. That's out of our control of what that's going to be. We have to get service connected first. So I haven't done any videos, but I haven't seen anything on that. I can't even tell you the last time I went out to the VA's website where it shows the compensation and or SMC totals, like for SMCK, the payouts for SMCK, SMCS, SMCL, et cetera. So I don't know if there has been any updates on that. Guy on the couch, I went in for CMP exam for rhinitis. I'm already asthma awarded, all that be combined with my asthma if awarded, or does it still be separate? Thanks. I would have to check the 38 CFR for that respiratory condition, because at the beginning of that rating schedule for respiratory conditions, it'll say if, as it pertains to pyramiding, if the veteran has a diagnosis of these diagnostic codes from here to here, combine them and make the primary condition with the highest percentage the primary. Okay. So I don't know if they've updated that or changed it. So I don't want to say yes or no without going and look at that. But you could find that when you look at the rating schedule, when you go to the VA's rating schedule, I think it's under Schedule C, I believe. Let me look just real quick, guy on the couch, because I want to make sure I'm giving you the right information. Okay. I'm looking up online here right quick. So it's on the 38 CFR Book C scheduler of ratings. And if you go to the respiratory, you could find it under, let's see. Yep. You can find it on 38 CFR. I'm sorry. Wait a minute. Let me get it. Yep. 38 CFR 4.97. But let me just make sure it's not the one before that. Give me 1 second. Nope. It's not 4.97. It is, let's see. Let me look at one more regulation. I want to say it's 4.96. Let's see. Yep. 4.38 CFR 4.96. Okay. subpart A. All right. So if you go and you look at that regulation, gown and couch, it'll tell you which diagnostic code. So you can look up the diagnostic code for asthma and allergic rhinitis and see if it'll tell you if they need to be combined. We got Sydney, does a medical opinion have to have the legal language as least as likely as not, or can it just say greater than 50%? I would say for it to be actionable, you probably if you ask 100 different adjudicators or raters, you may get 100 different answers, or maybe 50-50. But it would be both, at least as likely as not, and then in parentheses, 50 or 51%. Okay. Those are the ones that I've seen. If I go back and I look at my old CMP exams, or even I've reviewed CMP exams for clients in the medical opinion, and the third-party contractors are putting both. It's in one sentence. At least as likely as not, give the diagnosis, and in parentheses, greater than 50 or 51%, so I would say both based on looking at the previous and current CMP exams from VA third-party contractors. Melvin, hello, Dwayne. Is there a form for TDIU? Yes, Melvin. VA form 21-8940. And I actually did a video on IU explaining that particular form and IU, because IU is not a standalone claim. Okay, it's a claim for increase. All right, Costello, hey, thanks for the super sticker. I really appreciate it. And again, if you're just now coming in, you heard me talk about where the donations go that I receive and the revenue from my YouTube channel. So again, thank you for all the super stickers and the donations. Bible says veterans get your claims file. So I haven't seen anyone go back and answer Paul's question and to say, hey, this is, except one individual say, how long I've received my CD, my VA claims file on CD, but also tell us how long did it take, okay? Yes, 100% PNT question is, why would the high-level review still be open although it seems complete? Well, Calvin, look at that. They could have deferred the anxiety. I think you said anxiety. They could have deferred that. But so if you go back and you look in that rating, see if it states it's deferred. I can't answer that because I'm not looking at the information. But I would say go back and look at it. Because they had to make a decision on that anxiety. Okay. So either they made a decision or and then if those other conditions were not on a high-level review, then you're going to have two separate people working at. You got one person with a high-level review, and maybe the other conditions that wasn't on high-level review / appeal, that's what they used to call it, then it's under another jurisdiction. Okay. But without seeing that information, I'm only guessing. All right. Okay, here we go. Bible says his took 7 months. I think somebody else said this is 5 months. Victor says 5 months. Sydney says 6 months. Again, it took me 11. Somebody says they've been waiting for 4 months. So I think it was Paul, if I'm not mistaken. So you can see the different time frames that it took. There's no set time frame, but I do get that question. That's probably one of the questions I get every 2 weeks. So don't, somebody says, oh, it's only going to take 2 months. Don't believe that, because could be sooner or it could be longer. Okay. So, yep, it was Paul. Paul says, thank you. Not a problem. Okay. So Jason says 3 months. That's quick. Broderick says 5 months. Okay. All right. One soldier journey. I'm currently receiving 100% PNT, but my doctor recommended surgery on one of my claims. So when you say on one of your claims, what document? Would that affect my current rating? I would have to look at all that information. It could affect it in a good way, and I'll give you an example. Let's just say you're 10% for the right knee, and you need to, or you decide to have a right knee replacement. Okay. So they're going to give you a temporary 100% convalescence for that right knee. Maybe 3 months, 6 months is going to depend on um, how long the doctor says you have to be off work, how long is your physical therapy, how, if you go back to work with restrictions, that's going to determine the number of months they're going to give you at 100%, temporary 100%. Now, it used to be a year and then they changed it, right? So if you don't have a single disability rated at 100% and you just 100% P&T, and then you have that right knee replacement, the additional benefit that you get is SMCS. And SMCS is you have a single disability at 100 and other disabilities totaling 60% or higher. That's one way, scheduler. Okay. So that's an extra, I don't know if it's $300 or $400 extra a month on top of the 100%. So however long they give you that temporary 100% for the right knee, and you have other disabilities totaling 60% or higher, then you'll get that SMCS for that period. So it could be a good thing. Okay. Discipline equals freedom. Okay. I'm liking that name. If you seek treatment from VA Health and they suggest different treatment options for PTSD, does it does it does does it mean you're diagnosed with PTSD? Um, Discipline equals freedom. I'm not a mental health professional. I'm not a medical professional. Um, when I'm looking at documentation, especially if I'm looking at progress notes, and that progress note is either going to have a section that says diagnosis or assessment. That's the actual diagnosis. And so when I'm looking at um, documents for clients, and they have, even if I'm looking at STRs, it'll have an A semicolon. That means assessment. That's the diagnosis. Or other medical records, it'll just say diagnosis. That's what I'm looking for that particular diagnosis. So if you are get treatment, whether it's at a VA facility or not, somewhere in that medical documentation should be an assessment or diagnosis, and you can see what they diagnosed you with. Remy, I got my first claims filed in 7 months and my second one in 5 weeks. Okay, all right. That's quick. Orange, our CMP exam being given for Camp Lejeune drinking water. Also, VA listed all my conditions on the Camp Lejeune water. Okay. I did some videos I did a series of videos in 2020 and 2021. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5 on the VA claims process. Even I've done training for different companies, organizations. And in that training, I talk about Camp Lejeune. There's a 38 CFR as it pertains to Camp Lejeune contaminated water for presumptive conditions. It's only about 8 conditions on there. If that condition that you're claiming Camp Lejeune contaminated water for is not on that list, they're going to deny it for Camp Lejeune presumptive. Okay. So that's why I stress to veterans, get educated on this process. If you're trying to claim Camp Lejeune contaminated water, I think Bobby, Annette Annette Baker and Bobby Bo has been in some of my roundtables, and I've even showed people how to go through the M21 reference and use that M21 reference to your advantage to find 38 CFRs, to find case law. Okay. So if you go to the M21, do a search, type in Camp Lejeune, it'll bring up all the M21 references as it pertains to Camp Lejeune. And it's at the bottom of some of those references, because these are not law, it has the actual 38 CFR. Click on it, and that's just an easy way to look for it. Because if you go into the 38 CFR, Part B, Part C, it's going to be like a black hole. Okay. So that's an easy way to do that search, and it give you all the information as it pertains to Camp Lejeune. Okay. Hey, John, how we doing? Eric says, does the VA require you to update to the new ID card for 100% P&T, or does the tan older card is good? Eric, that is outside of the VA. I know when I got my card, I had to go to MacDill Air Force Base. I have the tan one. I don't know if they've, I haven't heard of any updates. But that card is not given through the VA. Okay, Rim says Chicago, Illinois in the house, Chi-Town. Okay, what's up? Remy, I'm gonna ask you a question. You say 86. I'm assuming that's the year you were born. What was the other R&B radio station? I used to listen to it in the early 80s. I might be telling my age, but I think it was still around in 86. You got WGCI, but it was another one. W what? All right. All right. Gerald Rogers, if I filed a claim twice, one with a supplemental filing, do I still need to file again with a VA representative? There's no requirement. And I'm presuming you're asking if you filed a claim twice for the same condition. But you don't have to have your representative file your claim for you. A lot of veterans don't even have a representative. I had one, but the only reason why I had one, this is the only reason, is because I could not look at my own VA claims file in real time. They could. I could go to their office and they could pull it up and look at it. I couldn't. But understand that was the only reason I had them. I filed my first claim, I filed myself. The second claim, I did have them to file it. After that, I filed everything myself. Okay. So it's up to you if you want them to file it for you. I've heard veterans state that they've had some good VSOs, they had some bad VSOs. And I might even do a video on that just to give some feedback from veterans as some of the good things they've been saying about having a VSO and some of the not so good things they've been saying about having a VSO. Okay. But that would be up to you, Gerald. Now, I would say this, the original claim, the VSO cannot file. You have to file. But all claims after that, they can file on your behalf. STL in the chat. Okay. How we doing? Where you at? You up in North County, Florissant, U City, Jennings. I have family up in Florissant. All right. Paul, I just want to get my claims filed. How many years do they go back? In the description section, Paul, of all my videos, I put the form that I use, I put the verbiage that I put on the form, and where you can submit for your request. I asked for my entire claims file. They went back all the way to the beginning from, when I first filed my first claim. Hernando's, hey, thanks for the super sticker. I definitely appreciate it, sir. Thanks for the support. JS, got my claims file in the mail. My information was on the outside of the CD. When I popped it into the computer, it was someone else's. Wow, man. I hate when that happens. I did a video on when I filed a VA White House hotline complaint. And I don't, and just my opinion, if something like that, I guess if that happened to me, and I guess the question is, JS, did it have was your medical records in there too, or was it somebody else's? And then how long did it take? But if that, if that happened to me, I think I would, even probably before I did another FOIA request, I'll do a White House hotline complaint and have a supervisor request a supervisor from the regional office or the people wherever that sent the CD, because I don't think that veterans should have to wait, submit another FOIA request and then wait another 2, 4, 6, 8, 11 months just to get those STRs. Because I bet you that veteran, if they requested their claims file, what if those STRs are not in it? And then they're going to say, oh, It's not in your claims file. So what should happen when the VA, when you do that or make that complaint and notify them of that, that supervisor should have someone remove that veteran service treatment records from your file and put it in the correct veteran's file. Now, how they're going to get yours, I don't know, because it could be in anybody's file. Just like, you got that that veteran's medical records, it could be in anybody's file. Man, that's not uncommon. You don't see it a lot, but yeah, it's not uncommon. Hernando, what is the guidelines to get your claims file from the VA? Hernando, check all of my videos from last year and this year in, like I stated earlier, it's in the description section of all my videos from last year and this year. I even put the link to the VA's claim form, the verbiage that I put on it, and where you can send the information. All right. Michelle says, my husband's claim has been in review for over 2 years now, sitting on someone's desk there in Washington for his 100%. Should it be taking this long? He filed over 4 years ago. Thank you, from New Mexico. Michelle, I would say, unless it's on appeal, but I mean, Holler review, which I haven't heard or seen Holler reviews taking that long. If it's at BVA, that's not unheard of to take that long. But if it's just a regular claim and it's not on Holler review or BVA, go to my YouTube channel, check out, you got the VA White House hotline, because it shouldn't be taking that long. I've had clients where when they got to around their year stage, they filed a complaint, actually got a whole supervisor called them from that complaint, and they had an answer in a matter of weeks. But I don't know, Michelle, if it's on BVS. If it's at BVA, that's not unheard of. But I've seen some BVA cases not take that long. But I don't know what stage your husband file is in. And even so, I still wouldn't know. But again, if you just file like a regular claim, I haven't been seeing them take that long, even years ago, unless, they're doing a bunch of development, could have sent in a bunch of information, which will cause additional development. I just don't know. Okay. Barbara Curry, if they gave me a hearing test for tinnitus and my hearing shows significant loss, but they previously denied hearing, will they award for hearing, or do I have to submit a supplemental claim? There's an M21 reference out there that explains that, and I don't know if it has changed, Barbara, and I will have to look this up because it's in the M21 and it explains it. I know in the past, and I think it's changed, I'm not for sure. If a veteran, say for instance, the veteran just claimed bilateral hearing loss, and the veteran gets service connected, and also on that CMP exam, the doctor states that the veteran have tinnitus, then they can go ahead and grant tinnitus. I don't know if that's changed, Barbara, but it is in the M21. Good question. Good question. I would have to go and research the M21 to confirm that answer. I think it's the scenario I just gave. I think it did change. I'm not for sure. Gave me a hearing test for science, my hearing show. Yeah. But I don't know if the veteran claimed tinnitus and showed hearing loss, can they go ahead and grant the hearing loss? I think it changed. I would have to confirm that in the M21. Good question, Barbara. Good question. And that's another reason why to subscribe for these updates. Because if something changes in the M21, just like I was just trying to answer Barbara's question, you would get that, you'll get notified. But Barbara, I would have to check that. Tell you what, Barbara, give me a call and remind me. And if I pick up, I'll go to M21 and try and find that, and we'll get you an answer. Okay. EOE, can hypertension be secondary to PTSD? Again, I'm not a medical professional, nurse practitioner, physician assistant. It could be. Google it. go to the Mayo Clinic, or even ask your even ask your primary care, your private doctor. But I'm not a medical professional. A lot of times, clients ask me question, will be on the phone. I was like, hey, let's Google it. Let's see. Let's see if there's some medical literature out there linking the two. So I don't want to say yes, because one thing I don't do is provide medical advice, because I'm not a medical professional. Benjamin was on jump status. Cool. All right. So I'm assuming you was 82nd. Won't hold that against you. I'm a first calf guy myself for years, and avoided the docs to avoid being taken off status. If my records do not portray an accurate picture of my injury service, how effective is submitting lay evidence? Good question, Benjamin. Go to my YouTube channel. I did a video. What conditions can you claim from being awarded the parachute badge? And I outline that, talk about it in detail. Okay. So I don't know if the video is 15 minutes, 20 minutes, but go check it out. I give some examples. Good video. Make sure you subscribe. But when you get to the channel, you'll see some links at the top. Click on videos. To the right of that, I'll have a little hourglass where you can search and type in parachute badge, and that video should come up. Okay. And also, Benjamin, is your parachute badge notated on the DD-214? It should be, but just double check that. And then which VA form is used to get information on Chapter 35 benefits? What are you trying to get? The VA is not going to send you a booklet. I tell you what they do. They do send a booklet. I haven't received one, but there's a booklet that they send out periodically. I haven't got one in a while, where it talks about Chapter 35. You could try calling the call center and asking them if they would send a booklet. A good question, though. But there's no specific form. I guess a general form would be a VA form 21-4138, but you still may not get the booklet. But go to their website. Go to their website and just type in Chapter 35 benefits, and it'll search their entire site, and you may find some information that you're looking for there. Okay. T. Hill, I was recently awarded 30%. Congratulations for combat PTSD, but I feel like I am underrated. What is the best route to increase his rating? T. Hill, go back to their rating decision. In their rating decision, they state why they gave you the 30%. And also, it lists why you weren't awarded the 50%. And that's the 50% criteria. But if you believe you should be awarded the 70 or 100, go to that 38 CFR, subpart C, schedule of ratings, and look under mental, and you're looking for the general rating criteria for the mental conditions. Okay. But when you do that, if you have a copy of that claims file, you can look at that C&P exam to see if it matches that 30%. Okay. But, at this point, if you feel that you should warrant some higher, 5 ways of service connection: pre-service aggravation, direct, increase, secondary, presumptive. The one that you're asking about is increase. But again, do you meet the criteria for the 50%? Do you meet the criteria for 70 or even 100? Okay. You have to go out there and do that research, and that should answer your question. I mean, it'll not answer your question, but it'll show you the criteria. Okay, what's going on, Kevin? I haven't seen you, Kevin, in one of the roundtables lately. To request a CAR review, can the claim be older than 30 days in a high level or supplemental appeal? I'm not really understanding that question. To request a CR review, can the claim be older than 30 days in a high level or supplemental appeal? I'm not understanding that question. I'm sorry, Kevin. If you want to clarify it for me a little bit. Paul, if you're getting medications for your disability, can you still claim that disability? Uh, Again, I did a series, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. Step 1 outlines or give a brief description of the 5 ways of service connection. Whatever you're claiming, where does it fall under the 5 ways of service connection? Okay, that's the starting point. JS, it took 6 months to get my claims file, but if information in was not mine, someone else's medical record. So again, I would definitely notify the VA that happened, because you want to get that information out of your claims folder into the correct veterans claims folder. But the question is, did it have your medical records in there? Stephanie, hello everyone. I'm trying to find out why my TDIU claim is taking so long. There could be a number of reasons, Stephanie. Again, there's no set time frame. TDIU, I don't want to say there's a lot of development, but the development that is being done, it does sometimes take some time. They may have to go out to your employer, may have to wait on a response from that. And there may be some other development that they need to do, okay? But I will say this. A lot of veterans say, oh, it took 4 months for my claim to get done. That's not a long time. My first claim, it took a year. So, back in maybe 05, 09, claims were taken on the average about a year and a half. Okay. So the VA has come a long way since then. All right. What's going on, Gene? I don't know if you were in earlier, but Gene has helped me early on in the year to find someone to get these pallets down from Georgia. So I don't know when you logged in, Gene, but I did eventually found somebody, and those school supplies will be here tomorrow. Okay. Supposed to be. But I'll get a call 6 o'clock in the morning after the truck has been loaded. It's supposed to get loaded about 6, 7 in the morning. So I'll take some pictures and do a little short video or something like that, or put the information out on my website. But yeah, been a while. God bless. Yep, it has been a while, Gene. Thank you for all the support. Ms. Smith says, I have a claim in the development phase and it states awaiting second signature. I just got completed my CMP exam. Do you know what this means for completion time? Again, I get a lot of questions. One thing, start thinking about this, vets. Don't even think about completion times. There's no set time. It's not 2 weeks. It's not a month. It's not 2 months. I've seen veterans submit claims on a Monday and submit a DBQ for increase or direct service connection, actionable and sufficient DBQ and no nexus statement, and get a rating decision on a Thursday. Now, that's quick. You don't see that a lot. But I've also seen some of my clients and other veterans submit a claim and they had to wait a year. And they had their CMP exam 6 months ago. It just depends on the regional office, the workload for that particular regional office, additional development, what has to be looked at. It could be a number of things, okay? But just understand that there is no set time for claims to be completed. And I might do a YouTube video on that. Listen to Wayne, education is the key to victory with the VA. That is correct. Education is the key. Brian says, brother, I was just granted May 5th TDIU and still fighting. Got a CMP exam coming up next. Great info. Simplify. Hey, congratulations. Make sure you stay in the fight. Make sure you stay in the fight until you get the benefits or the percentage you feel you deserve. Gators fan 23. What happens? My case went to higher review and was it you mean duty to assist or data to assist? Then that asked for a signed medical form for my time in Germany and Fort Walton Reed Hospital. What would be next? That I don't know, Gator, just because I'm not looking at information. And if I was looking at it, it could be something totally different. Now, I will say this. If you stated that you received treatment from a private physician, then when you put that on that 5260Z 0995, I think it's box 17 or 15 on the 0995, and I don't maybe box 15 to 17 on the 5260Z. You just added a few months on to your claim. Okay. One thing that I did, I went out and got those records myself, from the private doctors, because it's going to take VA a long time. And then at doctor's office, they may drag their feet. And in the meantime, you're waiting. But it'd be up to you. But if you want the VA to do it, you fill out those boxes, they're going to send you a VA form. I think it's 214142. Then you have to sign it, send it back. Then they're going to send that to the medical doctor, private doctor. They're going to wait. Then they may not get a response. Then they're going to send you another letter. And that letter is going to say they didn't receive a response, but it's your ultimate responsibility. So why go through all that? I just went out and got it myself. But that would be totally up to you. All right. It's that time, New York City. Hey, Dwayne, I thought you were starting at 7:30. I changed the time. It's that time to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So going forward, it will be every other Wednesday, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Jay says, hi, I'm 100% for PTSD and MDD alone, but not PNT. How can I make it PNT? Thank you. I did a video. It's called Routine Future Exams. I took a screenshot I did an example rating decision. In that rating decision, at the bottom of that narrative, they gave granted the PTSD for 100%. It should say, since there's likelihood of improvement. So I explained the routine future and when they're not supposed to schedule that routine future. So when they are not supposed to schedule it, then they got to grant P&T, Chapter 35. So then I talk about some options. So again, people, I have a lot of videos out there watching. I've tried to cut them down. When I first started my YouTube channel, I was around maybe 20, 25 minutes. Now I'm trying to keep them under 15 minutes. Okay. Go to my channel. Even if you just lay in the bed, you can't sleep, you need something to help you sleep, whatever. Go look at these videos. If you're in the airport terminal and you're waiting to board your plane, look at some of these videos. It's good information. Now, some of them are old and they may not pertain, but some of these, like 5 Ways to Service Connection, IU, the parachute badge, routine futures when you're 100% and you haven't been granted P&T. That's still information that's still good. Okay. So make sure you go check it out. We got 86 people. Bobby says we got 56 likes. Come on, let's get this up. We got about 8 minutes. So I'm going to start going through some of these questions. Talking with the active duty soldier now. Invite him to your live show. Hey, I appreciate it, Jay. Can you explain why it is important to have your medical records organized and reviewed? Not a problem. Glad to answer that question, Jay. Thank you for asking it. Now, when you have your medical records from active duty, you're filing those conditions will fall on direct service connection. So for direct service connection, they're looking for treatment, complaint, diagnosis, injuries while on active duty. Okay? Those are things that you can claim and possibly get service connected. Now, I claimed some things originally that fell under that criteria that was in my medical records, and I still got denied. And guess what they told me? We don't see it in your medical records. Denied. Okay. Well, send me a copy of my medical records. Guess what was in there? They never even reviewed them. They just denied the claim. You got to be thinking, how does that happen? It happens. So again, I said, okay, at the time, it wasn't how they were reviewing, it was appeal. I was like, okay, do I appeal it? Or do I just reopen it? And thinking about it now, I probably would do a high-level review. and say, hey, they stated that it wasn't in my medical records. It is. That's a duty to assist error because I at least should have been given a CMP exam. So I do a high-level review. That's my argument. Give me a CMP exam. Okay. So that's why it's important to have those records because they can say, oh, it's not in your records. And what if you believe it? What if it's an older vet and they be like, oh, okay. And they just don't know and they don't have anybody to educate them. And then you get those records. Now, just because the VA is telling you something doesn't mean it's true. When you become educated and you go out there and you find out, oh, that person at the VA that called me lied to me, or they lied in the rating decision. But you won't know that if you don't have a copy, in this case, of your medical records. And then in my case, I was like, okay, now it's on. I'm ready to fight. At least give me the respect as a veteran to go through my medical records. They didn't even do that. They just denied the claim. And it took them a year. They had a whole year. And I've shared my, the folder with my medical records. I shared it. It's not that thick. It's like this. And they had a whole year to go through it, and they didn't even bother to do it. They just denied the claim. Okay. But when I got them, then I had evidence to fight them, and I ended up winning. Okay. So, Jay, thank you for that question and pointing that out. And that's why it's important to have that. Lorenzo, why does the VA intentionally file new claims on already service-connected permanent conditions? They're not supposed to file claims on your behalf. So unless I'm interpreting your question incorrectly. Did you submit a claim? Yeah, I'm not understanding that, Lorenzo. Traveling Terry, here we go. I sent for a claims file September 2021 and received CD 11 March, about 6 months. Okay. Terry, have you went through it? Have you went through it twice? Tony, with all the new proposals coming, is it safe to file a secondary claim for knee pain? I'm going to, Tony, again, I did several videos on the proposed changes. Right now, they're just proposals. Okay. The knee was not in those proposed changes. Go look at those videos. Had someone ask me, am I grandfathered in for the conditions like for tinnitus? I did a video on it. I shared the VA's email, and I talked about when they said if you're grandfathered in, unless you come in for increase. Okay. People, go out and look at these videos. I put a lot of time in coming up with these topics and doing research. All my videos, unless I'm sharing my experience or something like that, I go out and do some research on it. You got to do the same, okay? Because these things change. Some things change. But, Tony, the proposals doesn't cover knees, okay? Yeah, doesn't cover knees. Gene, God bless you, Dwayne. Always have your six. Hey, I appreciate it, Gene. If I ever get up to that panhandle, we're going to have to sit down and go out on the beach and have a steak, all right? Thanks again for the support. K. Walls, can you give a little information on continuity of symptomatically? Oh, I'm gonna give you a short version. And this is the way I interpret this. Some adjudicators, when they don't want to give a veteran CMP exam, they'll use this particular verbiage. You can find it, definition of it, in the M21. I believe they do it when they don't want to give the vet a CMP exam. Whenever I used to rate, I didn't care if the veteran was treated one time in service and he or she had been out of service 20 years. I was always going to schedule that exam. I wanted that doctor to tell me yay or nay. I believe that some adjudicators use this just to not give the veteran a CMP exam, which in my opinion, I think is wrong. And I had a conversation with a client, and one thing that I told her, for every any M21 or 38 CFR giving that adjudicator the grounds to deny, there's another M21 or 38 CFR that gives grounds where they can grant. Okay, so especially in the M21, it's a gray area, even the 38 CFR. Okay, so it boils down to who is adjudicating that claim, how they interpret it. Okay. My condition was static and permanent with no routine future exam schedule, and they filed new claims on the condition internally. Is that legal? I would be surprised, and I can't remember if I talked about this on one of my YouTube videos. I think it was a YouTube video that I did on knowing if you submit a claim, knowing which CMP exam you're reporting to. So if you get a call, they say, hey, need to report for the CMP exam. But in this instance, if you're 100% P&T, you don't have a routine future exam. You got a copy of your claims folder. You looked at the rating code sheet on all your rating decisions, and there's no routine future. I would be raising holy what at the VA, like, why are you all scheduling this? I'm not going. I'm already permanent and total. What are you doing? But that's just me. Because I would be really trying to find out. I'd be filing a White House hotline complaint. I need to speak to the supervisor at the regional office, the person that requested this exam, because I need to know why. Because I got a copy of my claims file, and nowhere in this rating code sheets on all the rating decisions that it states I have a routine future. All my conditions are static. Why are you all requesting this? Okay, and let them give you an answer. San Martinez, I'm in Oklahoma. Yep, I used to be stationed there too at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. I did not like Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Oh man, I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. Tony, already service connected for ankle injury. I started having knee pain and recently fell and broke my wrist at work. Sorry to hear that, Tony. Hoping for a speedy recovery with you. Could I file a claim while receiving workers' comp? Yeah, workers' comp has nothing to do with the VA. Okay. But again, where does it fall under the 5 ways of service connection? I know. Do you know, Tony? That's the question. How do you reasonably articulate it? You just see it. J. Castillo, Eric, I believe it depends on the base. For example, Lackland Air Force Base issues the nice looking newer ID cards. A dependent did show me her 100% VA rated ID card on base. Her veteran was permanent. So, Jay, was it tan? Was it a tan ID card? Was it a different color? And did it have a chip in it, or was it just like the old military IDs from the early 90s or late 90s? What claims can I file when I was in Desert Storm besides PTSD? Juro, go to that 38 CFR, go for presumptives. Got to do the research. There's a lot of symptoms that they list on there. It's a lot. Like I said earlier, I've done training for companies, and that's one of the topics that I cover extensively in that training. Gulf War presumptives. I give the 38 CFR, and that's a topic that I go in great depth on. But you would have to go and do their research. The Gulf War undiagnosed illness, and it gives a whole list of symptoms. Okay. If I submit paperwork for 100% to be considered for P&T, is there a possibility we'll reevaluate all my conditions? I think every claim is different. And let's just say you're coming in for tinnitus. Are they going to go look at your PTSD? Probably not. If you have TMJ and you're claiming a right foot, are they going to look at your TMJ? Probably not. But again, let's just say you claim a left knee and you service connected for the right, then yes, they're going to look at it. They're going to reevaluate it because it's a paired extremity. All right. So you have to be educated on what you're doing with your claim, and you have to be educated on the VA claims process and how it can impact what you're doing. Okay. I've done a lot of classes on this. I talked about veterans roundtables. I did town halls, a lot of stuff where I covered this information. Asked about Carl on the appeal because the VBA raters keep denying based on 21-1 saying it's law, but 37. Hey, Kevin, give me a call. I want to talk through this with you and just get a better understanding. I don't want to guess, or if you want to just jump into roundtable next week, log in a little bit early, let me know. We can kind of talk through it. I want to make sure I'm not understanding it. I'm thinking of something, but I don't want to. I want to confuse you. Okay. Sorry, I can't get you a direct answer on that. Tony, recent diagnosed with abdominal hernia. Could I file secondary to medication I'm taking? Yeah. Again, Tony, check out that video. I think it was one of my first YouTube videos, 5 ways to service connection. Don't look at the picture of it. It's not HD. Video quality is okay, but the information. And I did that 5 ways of service connection in step 1 of the claims process. But I've seen veterans claim things secondary for medication they're taking for a service-connected condition. All right, so a little bit over an hour. I'm gonna get through some of these questions. Some questions that I haven't asked. Francis, hey, I have 2 positive nexus letters, 3 possibly sworn statements, provisional diagnosis of headaches, and medical opinion of possible migraines by neurologists good enough for secondary tinnitus. Okay. So, Francis, where's the DBQ? Because when it comes to migraines, they need to see none, I think it's on DBQ, non-headache pain that has to be evaluated as well. Okay. And do you know what makes a DBQ actionable and sufficient? Okay. So I've looked at review veterans DBQs and nexus statements clients to make sure that they're actionable, they're actionable and sufficient before submitting. Hey, Barbara, you're welcome. Again, give me a call and we'll jump through the M21. It shouldn't be that hard to find. You know what, Francis, you did. I think you hit me up in Facebook too. Schedule call with you hopefully soon too. I don't know. I think you connected with me on Facebook Messenger. If I'm not mistaken. But sometimes, veterans in Hawaii and Alaska, Puerto Rico, when I try to dial that number, it'll say it's an international number and I can't call it. So if you ever schedule a consultation and you're in Alaska, Hawaii, call me at that time. A lot of times because I can't even send a text sometime through my CRM. Okay. So I definitely don't want to miss your call if you schedule a consultation. Matthew, if I was awarded 30% for migraines, but definitely check all the boxes for 50%, how can I get to that 50% rating? I tried a HLR, but no luck. Okay. So HLR, I don't think would have helped you in that case, because unless on that CMP exam, it was noted that it affects your employment or you claimed it that way, notifying them. All right. But again, in that rating decision, it states why they granted the 30 and why they didn't warrant the 50. So if you believe the 50, you should be warranted 50. Where does that fall under the 5 ways of service connection? Go out there and do your research on increase. Okay. Appreciate it. Jump master. Okay. So again, Benjamin, were you 82nd? Okay. Were you 82nd Airborne? All right, Matthew. Okay. He was, I'm sorry. There are studies that have found PTSD and hypertension are associated. See, there you go. So Annette, you're right. Again, you had to go out there and you had to find that information. Okay. Because I'm pretty sure is out there somewhere again, but I can't say for sure or confirm that because I'm not a mental health professional, but I'm pretty sure if you do the research, you can find if it's out, if it is a link or not. Now, I'm gonna do a couple more minutes, everyone. I got 91 people. Can someone tell me how many likes we have? If it's not 90, we need to get those likes up, okay? Okay, so I'm gonna get some couple more questions. BVA remanded my appeal to the regional office. The regional office sent me a statement of case. Do I have to reply? statement of case. So I'm assuming that they deny it. Why did they deny it? You and me both, Kevin. Oh my, you and me both. You and me both. Thank you for answering my question. Hey, not a problem, Miss Smith. Okay. All right. So are PTSD, depression not rated the same way? Mental is mental. So if you're service connected for PTSD at 50% and you come in, submit a claim for depression, they're going to take that for a claim as increase. When you look at the rating schedule, you see all the diagnoses, and they'll say general rating formula for mental conditions. So 50% criteria in the general rating criteria is the same 50% criteria for PTSD, right? All right. So I'm going to go through and just give a shout out to everybody for the super stickers. Okay. VA line. Yep. Got to call them out. Got to call them out. And again, just because it comes from the VA doesn't mean that it is right. Question it. I did interview Army veteran last November, and she was on one of my live streams in early December. And she talked about, and so if you go to my website, you'll see it. Go back and look under November 2021 or December, early December. She was on it twice. I interviewed her, and then she was on the round table. And one of the things that she talked about, she did a high level review. And I did a video where I talk about questions that you should ask when you're doing a high level review. And I've even talked about it in my round table, a couple of my round tables. And she said she asked those questions. She looked at those videos that I did on high level reviews, and she followed it and then added some stuff to it. And you know what she said? The adjudicator told her, "Thank you for questioning the evidence." I think she said questioning the evidence. Okay. And I think that's one of the reasons a lot of veterans struggle at the high level review, because they don't question it. And even outside of the high level review, they just get something from the VA and say, "Oh, it must be right." And I'm not dogging the VA, but what I'm saying is the individuals there are human. They're on quotas. They have to meet a quota, and they're rushing. And when you rush, you're bound to make a mistake from time to time. Okay. But not all the time, because they do this day in and day out. But sometimes it happens. There's nothing wrong with questioning it. All right. Okay. Still waiting on my records. It's over a month now. I called and they said give it 30 days. Okay. All right. So we don't have okay, yeah, Francis. I look forward to talking to you too. Okay. Does that mean 95 likes? 100 likes. Is that how many likes we got? Yep. All right. Hey, all right. AMD Redbone, 105 likes. Okay, cool. All right. So if I didn't Glenn Dozier. Okay. All right. Hey, thanks for the heads up. Go ahead and wrap it up. If I didn't get to your question, I do apologize. I try to keep these to an hour. We're about 15 minutes over. But every other Wednesday, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It used to be 7:30. I changed it, moved it up. Okay. So again, thank you for the support. Go out to my website. You'll see some pictures where I did a couple of events recently for one of the schools. They had Teachers Appreciation Week. I'll link the video that I did. It didn't get a lot of views, but I had picked up some items, took it to the school. They were having an event for the teachers and the students. And another vet came in and cooked some meals for the teachers. We provided 800 sodas, 800 bags of chips for the students during that day. And I just want to share that with people that support me and give me these super stickers. I want you to see where these funds go. Okay, they're not going in my pocket. So that video only got like 500 views. So if you subscribe, you want to check it out, go look at it. If you donate it, you can go to the website, click on the corporate responsibility link, and also go to my YouTube channel and look at that video. Okay, it's real short. It's like 9 minutes. Okay, talk about what I'm doing with the schools. Okay. So one last super sticker, Mr. Hammons. Hey, I appreciate it. So you just heard me talk about the video. I didn't put it in the chat window, but I will. I'll put the link so it's easy for everybody to find. This is, oh, wait a minute. There it is. This is the video. So if you click on that link, that YouTube video will come up and you'll see just one of the things that one of the I lost my train of thought just that quick. You'll see one of the events that I supported at one of the schools based on the donations that you gave, and corporate responsibility link on my website. It's out there too. So, Mr. Hammonds, I know you came in late. I was just about to get off. Thanks for the support, but I will take this last questions. I'm assuming that's Nexus. Can a Nexus letter from a therapist overall a CMP examiner's findings of GERD not related to PTSD? Mr. Hammonds, I guess the question is, how are you under the 5 ways of service connection? Where does the GERD go? Okay. Where does the GERD fall under the 5 ways of service connection? And what I've been seeing some VSRs do when veterans and some of my clients, I had a lot of clients, this happened to them. They had a DBQ and or Nexus statement, and the VSRs are still requesting the CMP exam when they don't have to. And when the veteran goes to that CMP exam, then they're using that CMP exam over your doctor's DBQ. Now, in no way am I saying go or not go. You have to make that decision. But what I do tell people, get educated on what makes a DBQ and Nexus statement actionable and sufficient. I used to give classes last year. I stopped. A lot of people weren't signing up, but another gentleman that supported my channel, he had about 4 or 5 veterans, and he requested, say, hey, can you open that class up and give it to us? And I actually did. So I do that from time to time upon request, but I need like 3 or 4 people. Okay. So if anybody's interested in that, give me a call and I can tell you what I do, what the prerequisites are. Okay. All right. So I hope hopefully I got your question answered, Mr. Hammonds. Again, thanks again for the support, and I'll be looking for you in my next VA claims live stream. Thank you.